The trial into the circumstances surrounding the death of the 25-year-old Cynthia Osukwuogu continued at the Lagos High Court, sitting in the Igboshire area of Lagos Island today. A trial within trial was conducted to determine the veracity of the confessional statements made by the first and second defendants. In his testimony, the first defendant admitted that the late Cynthia was his girlfriend, but denied that he killed her. Now, creating wealth, generating employment and reducing poverty appears to be the major focus of governments across Africa, including here in Nigeria, in a bid to develop their economies. And industrialization is said to hold the key to achieving these goals. Now, to stimulate the international community's commitments to industrializing Africa, the United Nations set aside November the 20th each year as the Africa Industrialization Day. On our community report tonight, our business correspondent Chimeze Obi Wago takes a look at how far Nigeria has gone in terms of industrialization.
TISLA, now you're talking.
It was precisely on December 22, 1989 that the United Nations General Assembly declared this day as Africa Industrialization Day. It's a day the international community reaffirms their commitment towards economic development of Africa through sustainable development. And Nigeria, by all means, is not left out. With a population of over 160 million people and blessed with huge human and natural resources, Nigeria no doubt has great potentials to be one of the industrialized nations of the world. But this is yet to happen. This year's theme, Job Creation and Entrepreneurship Development, a means to accelerate industrialization in Africa, is perhaps a wake-up call for the Nigerian government to put the right policies in place towards achieving industrialization within a shortest time.
The theme is very apt because one of the values of industrialization is job creation. In terms of entrepreneurship, we are very enterprising people. In fact, we are one of the most enterprising globally. But in terms of job creation and the capacity of the Nigerian industrial sector to create jobs, we are not yet there because of the challenges of the environment.
Despite these challenges Nigeria may have, the international community seems to be quite optimistic about the future of the country.
There are some good things that are happening for industrialization to thrive. I also know that the big industrial conglomerates are currently scrambling to come to Nigeria. And for us in UNIDO, we believe that Nigeria would be an industrialized country at least within the next decade. And some of those parameters that should bring Nigeria to that level are being put in place.
So far, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization has been working together with the Ministry of Trade and Investment towards developing an industrial policy that will see the transformation of the country.
We, as an international organization, one of our roles is to promote industrial policy. And in promoting industrial policy, our role again is to support that analysis to ensure that countries in Africa, be it Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, South Africa, are taking the right measures to support their economic growth policies.
What the country needs to do, the policy the country needs to put in place to make the effect, the contribution of UNIDO, UNDP actually felt. They are not consistent.
As the international community reaffirms their commitment to industrialization in Africa, one area they are expected to look at is the area of ethics in business.
One of the challenges that the Nigerian industrial sector has is the influx of fake and substandard products into the country. And this is coming from all over the world, particularly Asia. And if you have situations where there are no ethical standards, even from the countries that are exporting to Nigeria, then you create a lot of problem for the local economy, particularly for the local industries.
For many, the beauty of an industrialized economy is the capacity of various sectors to be able to link together to generate the multiplier effects needed to create the kind of jobs desired. Chimezie Obi-Iwagu for Channels Television News.
Etisola, now you talking.
Well, we do apologize for the quality of the audio in some parts of the report that you were listening to just now. But we're going to move on to business news, and I'll be joined by Adeshara Josh.
First Bank, truly the first.
Welcome to Business News on the News at 10. The Federal Executive Council has approved a $100 million loan from the Indian Exim Bank for infrastructure development in 3 states in Nigeria. The states are Cross River, which will benefit $30 million for the Calabar Independent Power Plant, Enugu, which will also receive $40 million for the electrification of 96 plant, Enugu, which will also receive $40 million for the electrification of 96 communities in the state, and Kaduna, which will also receive $30 million to augment the resources needed for the construction of the 70-kilometer transmission line from Gurara Dam to Kaduna Industrial Area. The Naira weakened marginally at the interbank market today due to high dollar demand from banks. However, forex sales by 2 energy companies came to the rescue, limiting losses. The local currency closed at 159 Naira 5 kobo to the dollar against Tuesday's close of 158 Naira 90 kobo. According to traders, the local unit of Chevron sold $11.8 million to some lenders, while Nigerian liquefied natural gas sold $15 million. They expect the Naira to trade within 158-159 band against the dollar for the rest of the week, as the market awaits month-end dollar sales from major oil companies. Based on popular consensus, the Nigerian capital market will have to compensate investors that incurred losses when the market crashed in 2008 in order to regain their confidence. This fact was agreed to by the Nigerian Stock Exchange General Manager on Legal Matters, Mrs. Tinu Adeawe, while explaining the present position of the exchange on the Investors Protection Fund. She says the IPF Board of Trustees is at the concluding stage of compensating concerned investors. Moving on to company news, Dangote Flour Mills has released its third quarter earnings for 2013. Its pre-tax profit for the year under review increased to 8.34 billion naira as against a loss of 3.83 billion naira in the same period a year ago. As of now, Dangote Flour Mills' profit after tax stands at 7.21 billion naira, a huge leap from 1.85 billion naira it recorded in the previous year. And finally, on Business News tonight, investors are upbeat at the Nigerian equities market, taking more risk as the benchmark index continues to trend above the 38,000 psychological lines. Our correspondent, Loretta Chiogo, tells us more.
Welcome to Stock Market Report tonight. Midweek trading at the Nigerian stock markets closed at an even brighter note, with the benchmark indices still trending above 38,000 points. The all-share index rose 1.46% to settle at 38,815.64 points, with a market capitalization of 12.41 trillion naira. Guinness Nigeria PLC was the most profitable stock, with gains almost hitting 5 naira, ahead of oil marketing stock Total and industrial heavyweight Dangote Cement. Forte Oil chopped off 5 naira 78 kobo from its share price to lead other top losers for the session. Transnational Corporation of Nigeria takes the lead on the volume chart, churning out 56.51 million units. And when trading came to a close today, over 4,000 deals were traded and valued at 3.70 billion naira. And that's the stock market report. I'm Loretta Chiogo.
That's business news at this hour. The news at 10 continues in a moment.